Hello everybody, I am Jedi Jack Penguin and welcome back to another LEGO Star Wars review. So today we're going to be looking at set number 75354, the Coruscant Guard Gunship. This set includes 1,083 pieces, retailing for $139.99 when it released on September 1st of 2023. This is one of the sets that LEGO released this year to celebrate 20 years of Clone Wars. It's not based off the 2003 Clone Wars, just like everything else. You can see that mostly when it comes to the figure designs, though when it comes to the actual gunship itself, this is the first time that we're getting a variant of the gunship, the Coruscant Guard Gunship, compared to the typical Republic gunships that we've gotten in sets before. This particular version has a very small screen time, and it's crazy to see that they picked this version at all. I mean, it makes me think that LEGO plans on making other variants of gunships in the future if this one sells well. No doubt it will, considering the figure selection. Of course, that's also the part of the set that has the most controversy, aside from this not being the typical gunship build that we would get from LEGO and being much smaller for a high price. Speaking of the box art design, we get Coruscant in the background, which is really cool to see in a set like this. You get your yellow-orange stripe, along with your 332nd Trooper, which is representing the Clone Wars as a whole for LEGO Star Wars. You know how I said this was celebrating 20 years of Clone Wars? I take that back. The side of the box doesn't have the logo. I mean, I would think it should have had the logo because it's Clone Wars related, but I don't know. From the back side, you can see your characters interacting, as well as some of the other play features, which we'll go over in the review. Included in the box, you get a total of 10 numbered bags to build the set, in addition to a folder which will feature your stickers and instruction manual. Sticker sheet, you get your Republic logos for the build. Instructions, ugly render from the front side, more of a booklet style for this one. From the back, Win Robot. Piece count for 2 pages, and a quick advertisement with the other sets in this September 1st wave. You guys can check out reviews for both the Ghost and Phantom, as well as Ahsoka's T6 Jedi Shuttle. We'll eventually end up with this one just because it has the villains from the Ahsoka TV show. No better way to start off our minifigure selection than with the Supreme Chancellor himself. We have Palpatine. We haven't seen a Palpatine minifigure in quite some time. I think the last time we saw a Palpatine minifigure was back in 2015. This one includes brand new prints for the skirt, torso, and facial expression. You even get a brand new recolor for the hairpiece, which is an added bonus. This is such a wonderful minifigure, definitely the best one of this set. Spin him around to the back, you even get back printing on the skirt, which is another thing that I was not expecting to see, that LEGO really did go all out with the design of this minifigure. Looking at the facial expression, you get a nice calm, happy smile from the front side, and when you spin it around, something to better represent Revenge of the Sith, we have an angry, fighting face for the other one. Honestly, wouldn't be surprised if that facial expression shows up again in maybe a remake for Palpatine's arrest. Next up, we have Anakin's secret wife, Padme Amidala. This is her Clone Wars appearance. You can tell that based on the torso print, which is just amazing. I really love this torso print. Facial expression is a reuse from back in 2016, the Jen Erso facial expression, which honestly doesn't look that bad. I know I'm in the minority of saying that, but I mean, this facial expression I feel works very well for at least the animated Clone Wars Padme. I wouldn't go as far to say that it looks like Natalie Portman. They made a pretty good facial expression for her back in 2013. I'm really annoyed that we didn't get any other use out of this facial expression. Considering they did use a reused facial expression for this minifigure, I'm happy that it's this one. It looks just the best out of any of their other choices. Now, looking at the facial expression, calm look from the front, and then a angry, snarky look from the backside. I don't really like that facial expression. I like the other one much better. Small gun for the accessory, brown hands for some gloves. And I also have to talk about that hairpiece returning again, which was introduced on our figure back in 2013's Republic Gunship. Great to see that hairpiece return. Definitely a favorite piece of mine for Padme's minifigure. Now here's where things get interesting. We have, for the very first time, Phase 2 Clone Commander Fox. Now, we have seen the Phase 1 version of Commander Fox, which came out back in 2009. Unfortunately, the helmet for that is so expensive, you won't be able to see a review from me on that set. Now, this is a figure that, rightly so, fans should be excited about, though unfortunately there are some problems. Really, my issue with this set, it's not the helmet holes, who cares about that? I mean, the lack of a waist cape, as far as consistency goes, I'm okay with it, but my real big issue when it comes to this minifigure comes in the form of printing a lighter color on a darker surface, and that is the torso print right here where they're printing white on red. I don't know what it is. I mean, sometimes they can get the printing a lighter color on a darker surface right on a minifigure, though I don't know why it's an issue on certain minifigures still. Otherwise, printing wise down here for the legs looks really nice till you turn them off to the side and see that there's no waist cape print, which would look ugly anyways because it wouldn't cover the back side. Back torso printing looks alright in my opinion. Also, I have to comment on the red that they're using. I mean, it does match with the Shock Troopers red color that we're getting, but I would have liked to have seen a dark red to go along with the gunship build that we got. I don't know, that's just what I feel would have been nice to see. I mean, this definitely pops over the darker red, but still I would have preferred to have seen a darker red color being used for these minifigures instead of the plain classic Lego red. Helmet holes, I've talked about them quite a lot over the last couple Lego Star Wars reviews I've done. They're great when it comes to adding accessories, but otherwise they do look kind of ugly, but I honestly do not really care. You get both the visors as well as the range finders that you can put on those helmet holes. Helmet print looks fine in my opinion. Facial expression will be the same one you see across all other clone minifigures released back in the 2020 501st Battle Pack. Also have to appreciate getting these guns again, which you'll have also seen with Captain Rex within the Venator. Rounding out our minifigure selection alongside our commander, we happen to get 2 clone shock troopers. Now, we haven't seen these since I think 2014, 2015 within the Coruscant Police Gunship. Quick comparison side by side. I definitely like the newer design much more than the older design. If anything, I like the white arms because that kind of brings it back to the shock troopers that we had back in like 2007, 2008, which I really liked. Leg printing is definitely an upgrade as far as getting the printing from the very bottom of the feet there. That looks really, really nice on these characters. As far as the helmet design goes, I definitely like the newer one just because it looks a lot cleaner than the one that we got back in the day. I don't know, that's just my opinion. But as I said, brand new prints across the board for this guy, except for the facial expression, which will again be that regular old clone facial expression. At the moment, this minifigure is exclusive to the set, at least until January, where we'll be seeing one included within a Mega Battle Pack, and then we'll also see some appear in May within a Mandalorian set. Helmet holes, have to talk about them, I guess. They're there, I don't care. Back printing looks nice. And that finishes off our minifigure selection for this set. As far as my knowledge goes, the Coruscant Guard Gunship has only appeared briefly within the Star Wars The Clone Wars TV show. We never saw it within any of the movies. In particular, Season 6, Episode 7, titled Crisis at the Heart, is where we see this vehicle shine the most. One minifigure in particular that I think would have been really nice to see included alongside these, or even just in place of Palpatine, would have been Clovis. Now, I think it would have been really funny to see him, considering we don't have an Anakin minifigure in any of the sets for this year, 2023, which just surprises me. 20 years of Clone Wars, there's no Anakin or Obi-Wan Clone Wars minifigures? Like, what's happening here? But I guess Lego's reasoning as to why they didn't include his minifigure is just because he's not recognizable enough. And again, it's something you'll hear me say a few times, it's just really, really niche, just like the build that we have here. It's not something that you see every day within the Star Wars theme. Minifigures out of the way, we can take a closer look at our build. First things first, my favorite part from some of the previous gunships returns, that being the handle. This allows you to swoosh it around as much as you want and it won't break very easily. You can shake it around. Pretty sturdy. I mean, the handle itself is a lot smaller than the handles that we've seen on other gunships, which is self-explanatory as far as the size of this thing being much smaller than any of the other gunships we've gotten in the past. You know, I didn't think that this would hold out as well as it does, but, you know, I guess the designers knew what they were doing. Another thing I have to mention is just as far as building techniques go, this is just such a different gunship than any of the ones that we've gotten in the past, as far as just the way that they were able to create the front of this thing. We have much smaller cockpits from the very front, in which you do happen to get spots to place your minifigures if you want to, and those printed 1x2 tiles just for the little controls. While we're over here, I do have to complain that we happen to get stickers on cheese slopes, which is something that should not exist. I don't know why LEGO does that. I mean, it's nice to see the Republic logo featured so prominently all over this ship, but at the end of the day, I just think that something like that should be printed or just not included at all. From the side of the build, you can see another nice big Republic logo stickered on one of those larger tile pieces. You can also lift up this section to reveal a little bit of the interior. You can do the same thing from the other side, where you get that Technic connection in order to access this part below. You can put whatever you want there. You can sit down some minifigures, or you can stand some minifigures. I think there's plenty of room to stand them if you just want to put them in there. Typically, you would see some sort of other thing being stored in that area, like within the previous gunships. While we're here, we gotta talk about the adjustable front cannons. These are using the same building techniques that we've seen in the past for Republic gunships, where you can move those in a somewhat 360 direction with that ball that spins around. You get another small little cannon from the very back. Nothing too crazy there, and that's a little ball joint so you can get that range of motion. You can also see that we happen to get some small compartments, which LEGO does love to include these, though we don't have anything exciting inside them, unfortunately, from both sides. Now, one of the more interesting parts of this set, in my opinion, are the doors. I really like the design of these, just the color scheme I think works very well. Though, one thing that I do have to complain about as far as the function of these things, it's annoying to get them realigned when you open them. So like, as I just showed, you can open it up, and I'm trying to push it back, but we have like this little hurdle that you gotta go over, I guess. Better way to explain it, you can see like this piece over here and that piece over here. When you try and close it, it won't actually close until you lift it up just a little bit over those pieces. That's one small little design flaw that I saw in this. I guess one good thing is that it does give you a way to open the doors so then you can actually get your minifigures inside. There's plenty of studded room so you can stand around your minifigures. If you want to put some shock troopers in there, you can do so. They fit in very nice and easily, and you can close it back up. From the back side, we happen to get another part which you can move down to release your troopers from the back of the vehicle. If you don't want to have them come out the sides, I guess that's nice. And you get another little Republic logo stickered down there. The wings and the engines. First thing I have to say is that they are not using any of the familiar pieces that we would typically see for a gunship. Usually we'd see some larger triangular plates being used for these, though we don't actually see any of those. And we also have a new design when it comes to these engines from the very top, which I actually do think they look really nice, especially using this piece in white. For sure, very much a departure from what we're used to when it comes to the gunship. As far as they're attached down here, it is pretty much the same, but again, it's been shrunk down, and they're using a lot more modern pieces just to capture the looks of these wings. Saving the best for last, LEGO just loves their stud guns, and we don't happen to get just one pair of them, but we get two, one from each side of the wings. Their placement is ugly. You can easily remove them though, so then they don't look ugly, which I appreciate, but if you don't know how these work by now, all you gotta do is just press down. And now they're somewhere behind me, who knows where they went, though LEGO is kind enough to include extras in case you lose them. So overall, for $140, is this set worth it? Well, compared to gunships of years past, I think this is a little expensive for what you're getting. Minifigure designs I think are alright. I mean, really the only one minifigure inside this set that I think needs some work is Commander Fox, and that's really just because of the printing a lighter color on a darker surface as an issue. I think the Shock Troopers are amazing. Palpatine is my favorite minifigure of this set, and seeing Padme in this set is just amazing. We need more Padme minifigures, come on LEGO! Back to the build. It's small, there's stud guns, it's not the gunship that I think a lot of people were expecting to see from LEGO, though I feel if it sells well, it opens the door to us getting a lot more niche Clone Wars sets. I think LEGO is really trying their best to please the fans. For sure next year, 2024, will be an interesting year. I'm really excited to see what people think of some of the sets that we're going to be getting. But again, if you're a fan of the Clone Wars, I definitely recommend getting this, but wait for a discount or a good promo that you're interested in. Don't buy it at retail. No doubt you'll be able to get a good steal on this set sometime in the future, just like the ATT. So yeah, that's all that I have to say for this video. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below what your thoughts are on this set. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell icon so you know when I upload a new video. So yeah, that's it for now, and I will see you next time. Bye!